Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series, and congratulations on completing another working week, at least for you guys in the UK. By the time you're viewing this, I should think you are back from work or school or whatever it is you happen to be doing in your life at any one time, and ready to settle in to the weekend with some Sopcom goodness. And the best bit of information is I've got no news to bring you beforehand. We can go straight to the action. It's going to be a tip-top pro level ladder match, and that action is going to take place on Red Rocks. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. It has been an age. It's so weird. Not yesterday or the day before or whatever it was, sometime this week, I was thinking, I can't remember the last time I had a decent replay sent to me on Red Rocks, or there's actually a whole bunch of maps actually, but you just don't see them anymore. I guess because ladder pools have changed, and when I first started casting FAF matches, there were a very small number of maps in a ladder pool, and now it's very large, so there's a lot more things, and people tend to favor certain maps, and for some reason this is one of those maps that has really fallen by the wayside, and I think it's a shame because it's definitely one of the most dynamic and interesting maps for ladder games. Let's take a look at our players. Up here at the top left in the blue corner, it's none other than the Pwnable, and he is going Cybrin, opening first land there, going second air, and his opponent down here at the bottom is none other than TAPAKAHbI4. There must be a reference there to something, but I'm not sure what it is. He's also going Cybrin, and you will know this guy better as the one, the only, my fellow caster and good friend, Mr. TA for life, and he is opening first land. And I know you guys actually like to take a look at the openings. I've waffled a bit longer than is necessary. That map is just huge on split screen, but can't be helped. We need to have it somewhere, and generally someone's going to get upset no matter where you put it. So TA for life still keeping us guessing just a little bit about where he's going next. I wouldn't be too surprised if we didn't see a second air factory there for him, or a second factory being an air factory. The Pwnable there is going second air, getting what looks to be 7 T1 P-Gens online before starting work on the air factory. That is very customary indeed, and TA for life going for a similar build as well. Might be looking to get 8 online. Yeah, he's going to go for 8 T1 P-Gens and then go for the air factory. We can go back to single screen now as the first engineers are making landfall on what is a very large body in the center of the map there. Plenty of reclaim that one can get one's hands on, and lots of space to build. Don't forget, of course, tons and tons of mass extractors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 mass extractors on that main landmass. So you've got another 4 on each of the side islands as well. Scout plane out there for TA for life, and TA and the Pwnable both going to take the ACU across to the central landmass, and I would say that this is consistent with meta. It always was in the past. Like I say, it's been a long time since I've seen anyone play a game on this map, but it seems like the strategy, at least for these two, hasn't changed much. Pwnable now making his way on to the land. 4 land factories queued up around that first mass extractor down there. TA for life not looking for any adjacency bonus. He's just going to plonk them down anywhere on that side of things. Do we have a slight advantage there for the Pwnable? So we're at about 1,500 hit points there for TA for life, and a completion there for the Pwnable, so a slight build advantage. He's currently only going for 4 now. You can see 2 engineers from both of these guys have made it right to the center. That's because you've got some very large rocks that are worth hoovering up. If we take a look at who's had the best of it so far on the reclaim side of things, that would definitely be the Pwnable. He seems to be gaining himself, or seems to have gained himself, about a 400-500 mass lead in total mass accrued, although TA for life coming back at him very quickly indeed, closes it to 300 or so. A little bit of a air engagement there between one of the interceptors from TA for life. That kills a transport, but not before the Pwnable was able to get 3 engineers on the ground up here. They're going to go to work on a land factory. Still no presence heading towards the island on the other side of the map, though. TA for life dispatches a bomber. Going to go and try and deal with those engineers before the Pwnable gets established up at that top right-hand corner. And a Mantis is going to catch one of TA4Live's NGs in the center there, but he won't be too concerned about that. Pwnable still by those 4 factories he was setting up earlier. TA4Live, by contrast, is moving right into the center with his commander. No queued up build orders or anything like that from him as yet, so I don't know if we're going to see a second round of factories being spammed up. Bomber inbound has been a little bit too late to prevent the factory from going online, so it's going to have a limited amount of success. Does manage to claim at least one of the engineers down there, but no sooner does he do it than another engineer rolls off the conveyor belt, and he switches up to Mantis production. Anti-air turret very close to completion, and there it goes, and that'll be enough to ward off any bombers. That's going to be a hold up at the top corner of the map there for the Pwnable. Very nice stuff indeed. And I've got to say, of course, this is a Cybran mirror matchup, of course, because it is a pro level ladder match, which of course means after the end of this I shall be cleaning out my ears with a turkey baster full of smoking hot chicken fat. That is just the nature of things. I can't remember the last time I had a pro level ladder match that wasn't a Cybran mirror matchup. It's all I seem to get these days, so it's not like I'm selecting them, guys, to make a point. It is literally all that is coming my way. Group of Mantis in the center for the Pwnable. That main ridge, that plateau, looking to coming around to the factory section of the central island there for TA4Live. Lots more factories queued up for TA as well. TA does have a naval yard online, as does the Pwnable, but we're not really seeing a great deal of ships in the ocean. We've got 1-2 frigates online so far for TA, and in comes a skyhook to the bottom left-hand corner for TA, so he's making a play for that. Nice screening with his own interceptors first to make sure the way is clear. Even brings a T1 bomber along for the ride as well, just to make sure if there was anything on the ground, he could make sure the way was clear for his NGs. That ACU for TA4Live has a T1 point defense, meanwhile, online in the center. Land factory about to go online as well. The Pwnable going to throw an upgrade on his commander. That is the first upgrade. It's going to be a T2 engineering suite upgrade. And it doesn't look like TA is going to be able to force a cancel there. No significant presence in the area at all, really. Nice little raid on the central island up here. Single solitary Mantis getting work done. That mass extractor actually tanking the fire from that one Mantis with its construction, but of course as soon as that finishes, that'll slowly get taken down. Imagine the engineer won't be far behind it either. In comes a sliver, meanwhile, from the Pwnable, heading straight after the Trident frigate up here for TA. That's going to be a win for the sub. The first sub we see on the map there from either player. I'm surprised TA hasn't mixed things up a little bit. He's been trying to look a little bit more aggressive, give himself a bit of above surface water weaponry to fire back at some of the fringe units that might be within range there from the Pwnable. TA4Live going to get an upgrade on his commander as well. And it's interesting, he hasn't got the mod running to tell us what that upgrade is going to be, so we're going to have to come back to that in just a second. The Pwnable completes his Tech 2 engineering suite, so that's going to afford him some more build power and a little bit more hit points on the tank. T1 bomber now from TA harassing that naval yard, which is still pumping out the submarines. And another submarine has got one of TA4Life's Tridents on the run over at the western edge of the screen as well, periodically firing volleys away. But in comes that skyhook once again with build capacity, this time making a bit of a play for the mainland starting section there for the Pwnable. 4 engineers on the ground. I'm going to see a factory build straight away, I wonder. Be surprised if that's where we go. Large numbers of Mantis now building up for the Pwnable on the central island. And I'm intrigued to see who's got the better of this so far. So we've got 44 Mantis there for the Pwnable, and that compares to, well, just 35 there for TA for Life. TA for Life with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factories online, and one extra one in the center, though that one's about to go down. Pwnable rolling in with his forces, and the ACU right up close and personal to the T1 PD. He's just going to go ahead and cap that, and suddenly this becomes a very unpleasant place indeed for TA to be. He's got the personal stealth on board, but that's not affording him any protection at all when he's plainly visible, and has taken a bit of a battering on board that commander. Now into the yellow, and 5,500 hit points remaining and falling. The Pwnable continuing to press with his ACU, and then starts work on a T1 PD. I'm surprised he's not just going straight for the con kill here. I guess he feels he needs a little bit more damage. There are some more reinforcements coming up from the south, but I think it's provided a window for TA for Life to escape. Well, I don't know, I might have spoken too soon. Down into the red now, TA for Life below 2,000. The Pwnable continuing to press. More reinforcements coming in from the south from TA, but he's looking very, very shaky indeed. 1,200 hit points and falling. The Pwnable now goes into the yellow as more and more Mantis arrive for TA. He's down to around 8,000 and falling, and I think he's going to have to break off, otherwise he would have ended up forcing a draw. Just 800 hit points remain there for TA. A close call. Nice work from the Pwnable. Meanwhile, we've got submarines incoming now from TA, this time going after the naval yard for the Pwnable. One submarine over here lying in wait, and two more down here, but there's no real blanket coverage from either of these players, so they're having a hard time stopping units from slipping past the net. And indeed, we did see a land factory spring up with a radar and the capturing of that mass extractor, and now we've got Medusas rolling in to harass the main base for the Pwnable, who's actually behind on eco, 10 mass behind on generated eco, 43 to 33 in favor of TA for Life, and that could be about to increase as more pressure gets piled on the mainland. No real upgrades on the mexes, it would seem, from the Pwnable. He's more push spam heavy setup going on in the center now. He's got a Cerberus turret online, so a little bit of extra defense and a more solid position for him in the middle. This is looking extraordinarily bad in the main base now for the Pwnable. He has managed to get a Jester out though, and that will be able to start work on these ground units unmolested. That is, of course, until TA for Life dispatches some spare interceptors, which he actually has. He seems to have the initiative in the air game, slight advantage in numbers there of T1 inties, and indeed he's going to send 3 interceptors up here to take care of that Jester. They should manage it in a couple of passes, but the Jester has managed to kill off an awful lot of those ground forces, and a quick airdrop of a couple of Medusas is going to take out the recently upgraded T2 mass extractor. There's another one up here on the rear plateau as well, so really good aggressive work there from TA for Life. Meanwhile, the slivers have reached the manufacturing facilities there for TA for Life, but they're not going to last too long. TA for Life already has 3 of his own. Pwnable might have done better there, focusing on TA's submarines. Would have taken a few of them down. No real impact on the shipyard, but he's certainly got his own hands full as he now makes his way to the forward manufacturing facilities of TA for Life. Lots of Mantis, a few Medusas, and his ACU bearing down on these factories, and I imagine they are all going to be relatively easily taken down. We've got a real wheeling action as the forces that were sitting down in this area from TA are moving up around the top and are engaging in turn the forward manufacturing facilities for the Pwnable. It is a very, very fluid game here indeed. The Pwnable seem to be getting a handle on the pressure that's been brought to bear on his main base. He lost all 4 of his core mass extractors and is about to lose one of the rear T2 mechs. To be fair, he had to bring in another Skyhook though, a Jester, second Jester for the Pwnable, getting work done on the ground. Current mass reading though does have the Pwnable now ahead 37 to 35. That will be down to some of the mass extractors that he has destroyed on this side of the central island. No bottlenecks or anything like that on the power front for TA4Live. The Pwnable sitting just on the edge of the water there is going to get a Cerberus turret online. Would like very much to block TA4Live out of the central island, but we've got a whole other group of factories online down here. There are some T1 PDs online, well, 1 online and 2 more being erected up here, but that doesn't really defend the factories from this flank. Lots of Mantis able to get work done approaching from that angle. In come a couple of Tridents, but they're very badly damaged already from the sliver attacks from the Pwnable, and also that coupled with the cliff edge blocking most of the fire means that TA not going to get much benefit from those at the moment. Jester out for TA, and more pressure coming from top. He's still fighting to dislodge that forward set of facilities for the Pwnable. Might finally manage it, although there are some reinforcements heading in now from the south. Cannot believe how fluid this game is. TA4Live on the move with his ACU, that gun upgrade, the stealth upgrade, the Pwnable with the T2 engineering suite, and he seems to be going straight after the main base for TA, so a Rambo com push now, and there's not a lot on the ground in here to stop him. TA about to get a taste of his own medicine, only this time it's really going to sting. Pwnable has rebuilt in the main base, still facing some pressure in the air up here, however. Going after wall sections, a little bit of a misclick there. Jester's wasting time going after the wrong thing. Down goes the land factory and the mass extractor that TA grabbed a few minutes back. And without any engineers down there, that should represent the end for that pressure. Build capacity ready for the commander push. Get some T1 PDs online. Pwnable's AC, of course, representing quite a lot of engineering power, and with some nice micro there. T1 PDs there for Pwnable, going straight after those engineers and really cutting down TA's ability to retaliate in this point defense battle. Just such a peculiar game. Still very even on eco though, 31 to 31. The Pwnable has an advantage over the whole game of about about 1,000, maybe 1,500 mass there or thereabouts. TA4Live now though withdrawing with his commander to help defend, has a group of 5 T1 submarines with him, and he's upgraded his air to T2, so has a Corsair in the mix. That Corsair though taking tons of fire from 3 traces that have materialized in the last minute or so. One of the T1 PDs there that TA4Live's engineers put online just a moment ago has been captured, and now this is looking extraordinarily bad. TA4Live still approaching with his commander. The question is, will he have anything left by the time he gets there? Will there be too many PDs online for him to be able to accomplish anything? One thing that has stood in his favor is a quick distance build down the cliff there from a T2 engineer. The air HQ up here on the cliff edge, which is in pretty good position Nice and defensible against the Pwnable. That's the kind of range we're dealing with here, so he's not going to be able to oust the Pwnable completely from the ridge, and he's not going to be able to protect the air factory. It's only a T1, it's not the headquarters or anything like that, but of course all of the core mass under pressure. TA4Life rolling in now with his ACU, taking a look at what's happening elsewhere on the map. Still, he's trying to kill off these land factories up here. He's about to claim one of them, and there it goes. Jester overhead with 20 kills, 21 now. Very low, I say bingo on fuel, but not a lot of presence at all on the map from the Pwnable in the air game right now, so that's of little or no real consequence, at least until we start seeing hordes of mobile anti-air coming out of the Pwnable's facilities. TA4Life now reaching his base. Doesn't have the engineering suite, remember, but he does have the gun upgrade. Quick bit of reclaim, dumps some more mass in the coffers and helps him catch up. Has to really be careful about his range. Doesn't want to stray too close to the Cerberus turrets up here, of which there is about to be another. Pwnable now capable of just getting a good solid old-fashioned point defense creep online. And that is your limit, TA. You can't push beyond that, my friend. I wouldn't try it. Vice versa, also true. The Pwnable now eating fire from the two Cerberus turrets, as well as TA4Life's ACU, and both these commanders dropping very quickly indeed. TA4Life down to 3,700, the Pwnable on around 5,200, and he is going to roll up back out of there in the nick of time. A couple of Corsairs buzzing around meanwhile in the center, and it actually looks like with all of the APM that the Pwnable has been expending down here, eradicating the main base for TA, he's actually lost a bit of focus on the central island. TA4Life now with two sets of facilities at opposing ends of the islands and about to dispatch the set of factories that the Pwnable first erected when he made landfall at the beginning of the game. Meanwhile, Corsairs for TA4Life harassing the top island. We have the odd Sky Slammer on the ground, but the factory has been taken care of. In an ideal world, TA4Life could spare the APM, he would dispatch the Sky Slammer and then go to work on everything else, but in a solid position everywhere else, I'd say, TA, with the exception of the main base. So you can see all of the core mass comfortably in range of the Pwnable's static emplacements, and would you look at that, a tactical missile launcher online now with a missile loaded. Could we be about to see a snipe attempt there from the Pwnable? TA4Life is going to have to be very vigilant indeed to keep his commander on the move, or in fact, are we just going to see a mass sniping session? Well, to start with, it's going to be the latter. There goes a Tech 2 mass extractor, and that will give the Pwnable an advantage in eco. Plenty of other mass extractors he could go after. TA4Life lost the naval yard in the encounter, and we lost the naval yard there for the Pwnable as well. So both of these guys on a pretty heavily naval-centered map without any navy to speak of, with the exception of TA4Life from the 3 slivers and the trident that we saw from the early game. But now we're seeing some drops heading in from the mainland for the Pwnable. He wants to get a handle of the situation in the center. It's not been going too well. Look at the amount of engineers rolling down from the north. The Juicers working on point defense in the center. There goes the T1 PD. They'll now be free to roll in and dispatch the other buildings in there. And there was a quick snipe attempt from the Pwnable. TA4Life got his ACU moving just in time It really does cut your options down when you know you have to focus on your commander and keep them moving. It's probably best to just set a bit of a patrol down here when you're not using it. Lots of units turning up via Skyhook for the Pwnable. Just one factory remains. Pwnable tries to get a T1 PD online, but Mantis are going to upset the balance, or are they? They get the PD online in the nick of time. Doesn't get much closer than that, and then immediately go to work on re-establishing the factories that were destroyed a few minutes ago. In roll some Medusas, though. TAPAKAHbI4 wants to keep his distance. Doesn't want to eat unnecessary point defense fire. Well, helped out a little bit by the small hillock blocking some of the point defense fire there. And there goes the T1 PD. Doesn't look like he's going to be allowed to keep that. Both of these guys consistently trying to find weaknesses here, and I don't know whether that was Control K, the tactical missile launcher, or whether TA managed to kill it off. He might well have killed it off with some Corsair pressure. Those Corsairs now going after the Cerberus turrets. The Pwnable, anticipating the danger from the Corsairs, already has an air factory online, but now T2 engineers continuing to spam up Cerberus turrets from the ridge. And that T1 air factory is in range. And I'm pretty sure that's going to go down. Those units that were at the peninsula at the bottom still alive. Roll back in to cause some more problems for the Pwnable. Pwnable doesn't manage to get the point defense online. What an unbelievably bizarre match this is. Build capacity for TA. Got some PD up at the forward factories there for the Pwnable. Still the central fortification online, but only one Cerberus turret remains. And the T1 PD is not going to last too long against those Medusas. TA for life. Eating fire once again, needs to be careful. Just 3,000 hit points on that commander. The Pwnable also needs to be careful. Would love to pursue TA and get the kill right here, but cannot afford it. 4 Cerberus turrets back here for TA to retreat to. Those EMPs from those Medusa shells, absolutely invulnerable, or vulnerable I should say, invaluable. Slowly but surely, TA for life taking over the central island. That one Cerberus turret still getting the job done. Just 1,000 hit points left on board. TA rolling out into the river there. These Corsairs have been a fantastic addition to TA's arsenal in this fight. Down goes the T1 PD. Again, another wall section being treated very harshly by TA. Got some very strong feelings about those walls. But that's a very significant group of jesters indeed. That's a lot of damage heading across the northern edge of the map now for the Pwnable. Where are they going? Well, they're coming down here to assist the Pwnable's commander. The Pwnable looking like he might be syncing it up with a push from his ACU, heading in directly towards the Cerberus turrets now. TA for life without any intel. at the present time. But the Pwnable needs to be a little bit careful here. He's obviously wanting to get some overcharges in to soften them up. And I'm wondering if he's watching the ACU right now, because he's falling very low indeed, below 5,000 hit points already, and he's got a few yards to make up if he's going to get out in time when he decides to go. He does manage to claim one of the Cerberus turrets, but oh my goodness me, what are you doing? Get out of there, Pwnable. And he manages to do it with about 800 hit points remaining. Those Jesters in the end didn't come down to assist the commander. Instead, they roll in to help defend the last few static emplacements on the mainland. And once the mainland goes, TA4Life gets air superiority in here. It's going to be very hard indeed for the Pwnable to withdraw, especially with just 1,800 hit points left on board that commander. Meanwhile, Burstmaster under construction. The Pwnable obviously very concerned about pressure from the air. And now rolling in with that horde of Jesters straight in towards the center of TA4Life's starting location. And he's going to roll in and take care of the tracer that engaged those gunships as they move past. Just look at the damage. Mass Jester spam still getting the job done at 31 minutes into the game. And now moving straight in towards the T2 air headquarters. Going to prioritize the tracers that the engineers are spamming up in the main base. There they go. Then the engineers are next. And are we going to see power or air HQ after that? Still working on the static emplacements. This time it's the Cerberus turrets. Lovely little play. I was pretty certain a moment ago the Pwnable was done for. He was cornered. He was isolated. Look at the dominance TA4Life has on that central island. But this one Jester play has really opened the game up. And now it's the T1 P-Gens that are under heavy assault from this pack of Jesters. There goes the energy storage, so no more overcharge for the time being for TA4Life, and just a, well, rapidly declining amount of power output as the hydro goes down, and that will bottleneck TA4Life on power. TA4Life has made his way out onto the main island to finish off the Cerberus turrets over here. I'm wondering if he's going to set up shop permanently on this side of things and just say goodbye to the bottom right-hand corner. I think it's well and truly done for, but he's going to have a bit of a time getting his power grid back online, because look at that. Absolutely annihilated. Still working on Corsairs. He probably wants to put a stop to that. That is going to be very power-hungry work indeed for a chap with no power generation at all. And indeed, there goes the pause command on the Corsair production. And would you look at that? So, very peculiar situation. The Pwnable in control of his main base, the top island, though that's not upgraded in any way, shape or form, with the exception of one T2 mass extractor. And then now TA4Life's original starting location as well. Are we seeing power plants going up anywhere else? We've got a decent bank of T1 power up here at the northern section of the island. And would you look at this? We've got a Renegade out from TA4Life, which has been brutalizing the naval factory for the Pwnable, who's trying to branch into a different area of play. He's upgrading it to T2 as we speak. It's about 80% complete. Of course, production of that slowed by the destruction of the build capacity around it. But there goes the T2 air headquarters for TA4Life. And the last Cerberus turret on the ridge as well. No more build capacity up here for TA4Life. The Pwnable can breathe easy, at least for the time being. New base centralized perhaps to the bottom left-hand corner. In come the Slivers, who have had very little to do for most of this game, rolling in to try and deny the establishment of a T2 Navy from the Pwnable. Got that T2 upgrade on the naval yard complete. It's currently working on a destroyer there. But enough engineers in play to spam up scuttles, those T1 torpedo launchers, and deal with those slivers. We do have another naval yard online working on some T1 units there for TA for Life, who is now in complete control of the center island. Another factory down on the starting landmass for TA, and a whole bunch of Medusas waiting nearby. All of these jesters now bingo on fuel. And I think they are about to succumb to some interceptor pressure, but what a wonderful addition they have been. Look at that, 13 kills, 9 kills, 8 kills, 10 kills. They have served their evil faction of the Cyber Nation well indeed. One faction against another. I say evil faction. They're Cyberan. They're all evil. The Pwnable now wanting to expand and put a dent in the new stronghold for TA for Life, which is the central island. It needs to be a bit careful. Tons and tons of ground units in play on this central landmass for TA for Life. Of course, easy enough for the Pwnable to drop back into the water. The Pwnable now completely healed from those earlier exchanges. We thought we might see his demise at the hands of the Cerberus turrets there. Still, Jesters getting work done. Also bingo on fuel, so that pack we saw earlier still operational in some capacity, still going after T1 mass extractors. Looking about the eco, well, TA for Life has actually accrued more over the course of the game, so we're 110 versus 100k mass in favor of TA. TA just dropping behind slightly in terms of generated eco, and then jumping ahead in front of the Pwnable just as the reclaim figures come in, but it's very close indeed. But what's striking is this figure's hardly moved. It's been up to 40, I think, for both of these players over the course, and has dropped down again. We're not seeing any consistent development of economy because these guys can't hold on to a region long enough to develop anything. That's how fluid this game has been. And talking about that, the top right hand corner has now been destroyed by TA for Life. All of the structures out of commission there, and he's making a grab for it as another Skyhook comes in with 3 engineers. So again, another region of the map changing hands. This has been really the most extraordinary game, and another reason why I love Red Rocks, although this is unusual even for this map. The Pwnable getting an upgrade on his comm, and he's going for nanite torpedoes. That'll make his comm pretty dangerous in the water and give himself the advantage in any kind of comm-on-comm engagement. And as you see, the last 20 minutes or so, these guys have been very close proximity to each other. And I think the Pwnable is banking on that for, I say late game, we're in late game. But the next encounter, that Salem we saw under construction earlier has been completed and is now harassing the bottom left-hand corner. Is under fire from some cormorants though. So TA for Life still putting out Tech to air, and another Salem online as well. Heading out to the top of the map, could go straight to the top right, immediately take that corner back. But the nanite torpedo launcher is completed. Now he's going after a new naval factory that TA4Life has constructed as well. So was that the Salem, or was that another Trident? Hard to tell. But wherever it is, I think it's at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Seems to be pretty quiet on that side of the map. Probably was that wreck. TA4Life emerges back out onto the sand. Immediately gets fired upon by some Mantis that are waiting for him. Slivers trying to take out the torpedo launcher. Gets a little bit of assistance from the commander, who fires an overcharge into it and finishes it off with the main cannon. But what they can't contend with is the ACU and the torpedo launcher on board, coupled with it reclaiming everything in sight. Look at the damage that comes off it. More than a match for light T1 Navy. Not much he can do about torpedo bombers once the flak goes down, but he hasn't stayed around to kill off the flak. Just 285 hit points left. A quick reclaim would get it done. Needs to do it. TA4Life eating torpedoes as he goes down into the yellow. 7,000 hit points remains. Oh my goodness, kill the Burstmaster, please. TA4Life down to around 4,500. The Pwnable trying to spam up more T1 PDs. There are some more back here already, but TA4Life now into the red, and he's stuck between an ACU and a hard place. The ACU firing torpedoes into TA4Life's ACU. 1,700 hit points and falling, and that's surely going to be game. He can't escape onto the land, and he can't escape in the ocean either. What a wonderful choice of upgrade that was from the Pwnable. And at the end there, before all of the structures went offline for TA4Life, he was at 28 mass per tick. You saw all of the open mass points there, so it looked like the Pwnable was just getting established in the T2 naval side of things. You've got 2 Salems over here and 3 Sirens dotted around. In fact, 4 Sirens now dotted around, and really that was game over. Even if somehow TA had managed to evac, get onto the main island, he would have been able to contend with the T2 Navy spam. Any structures left in here in the water would have been taken out by the commander and that torpedo launcher. What a fantastic maneuver it was by the Pwnable. It was a long, protracted base grab from the Pwnable. It's a good 5-10 minutes of play centered around here, where he and TA4Life battled for that bottom right hand corner. But what a fantastically unusual ladder game that was. Great to see. And guys, if you're wondering what I like to cast, that is an example of a fantastic game. You have a game like that, please send it my way. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, more to come from me in the future, guys. Don't forget, if you feel so inclined, you can support me on Patreon. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.